Hi, my name is Andrea Estrada, and this is Cathy Schiller. And if you could just tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up here at Yavapai College.
A rather circuitous route. As far as working, I started teaching elementary school after graduating mid-year from Brockport, which is in State University College at Brockport in New York. I taught at campus school that I had student taught at for half-year, elementary and handicapped. Then I went to graduate school at Eastern Kentucky University and did an assistantship there for a year. Taught 12 credits and took 12 credits per semester. Then I was asked back to the campus school at Buff State and taught high school level kids and handicapped kids for 2 years. After that, I went to University of Vermont and coached and taught there for 9 years.
What sport did you play?
I started with soccer and volleyball and ended up with volleyball and lacrosse.
Oh, wow.
And taught a pretty full spectrum, primarily activity classes, but also personal health. From there, I went to University of Southwestern Louisiana for a year, Barnard College in New York City for a year, and took advantage of their opportunity to take classes at Columbia Teachers College while I was there. Then I went to Western Nebraska Community College for 5 years and taught and coached volleyball for 5 years. I've been here 19 now.
So what was the date you ended up here?
89.
89, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see, what was it like when you first started here, like the differences? I know a lot of construction's taking place, and maybe you've gotten a lot more money for your program and stuff like that. So.
You aren't really aware of our program. Yeah, the campus has grown considerably. The library wasn't here. The performance hall wasn't here. It's basically a 4-building campus with some outline, temp buildings. It was basically the whole campus. Prescott has grown tremendously since then, too. For example, the stoplight at the junction of Sheldon and Gurley was the last light you would see until you got to Phoenix. Prescott Valley was, antelope territory.
What was your initial job here when you first began?
I was coaching volleyball and teaching a full spectrum of physical education.
And what is your current job?
I'm the fitness center coordinator, so that means I interview and suggest for hire the instructional staff, which is then approved by my superior, who is the division head, and I hire and train student workers also.
And what is the, how many people do you have on your staff right now?
I have 6 trainers, and I think I've got about 6 student workers.
Okay. So what was the program like, the fitness program? I know I've read a little bit about you, and you've introduced the senior fitness, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about that too.
The program did not exist when I came here, and I noticed that as far as the people who use the fitness center, was primarily people of your age.
Yeah.
We really didn't seem to be serving the population that was the majority of Yavapai County, which is older adult. And I would watch them go by. We were in where the training room is now, and you can imagine those windows looking in on the fitness center rather than the training room, if you've been down there. And I noticed that the older population would kind of look by and kind of wistfully stare in and probably be a little intimidated by the young hard bodies. So I decided to create a senior fitness class, one, tailored more toward their needs, and also to give them the privacy of a class of their own without worrying about getting bowled over or somewhat intimidated by younger folks. And there were, I believe, about 26, 28 people in that initial class. It has since grown to 3 sections of over 100 students currently enrolled.
Yeah, I see a lot of the older people. It seems like they're almost more than the younger people now.
You are exactly right. It's gone more to about 75-80%. being us white-hairs, we'd like to recapture more of the traditional college age, but they seem to be so tied into their academics that they're not taking quite the care of their bodies that they should.
Well, I've been in it for every semester I've been here, so doing something. I used to be an athlete, but
Me too.
I gotta continue. Yeah, I miss it though. Did you coach any sports here at Yavapai?
I coached volleyball for 5 years.
And how'd you like that?
We did pretty good. We were nationally ranked 3 of those 4 years, and we're in regional tournament 3 of those 4 years. The only year we failed to do that, and the only year we had a losing record, was a year when I actually had 100% first-year players.
Wow. What was your most challenging experience or time here at Yavapai College?
Challenging experience. There have been so many. As far as nailing one down would be difficult. I think the most challenging time was when we were transitioning to our current facilities. We were coming out of an old facility with 7.5-foot ceiling. I had to cut holes in the ceiling tiles to fit some of the equipment, an ugly old brown rug that was as old as dirt and about the same color. Old equipment. We started with an old Universal, which was like a little circuit around a single piece and a couple of bikes. But during the transition, while our current facility was being added on to the old one, we transitioned into the gymnasium, and we're in where the badminton courts now are, so they could keep the main court free for athletic practices, volleyball and basketball. And that was a hard time because our offices were in a big open area. I didn't have my own phone. It was kind of a pain in the butt.
I just felt like you were put to the side.
Yeah, and there were some issues with in the gym. We were afraid of things walking. We really didn't have great security because the doors didn't seal well. It was kind of a challenging time.
What was your most rewarding experience here at Yavapai College?
There have been a multitude of rewarding experiences. I think a lot of them have been senior related. It's one of the things you have to do when you have multiple certifications is you have to keep them renewed, and you do that through continuing education. And I'm a lifelong learner. I love to do it. But learning enough, and along with my seniors, helping them overcome things like pain issues, chronic pain issues, that are really a result of muscle imbalances, poor posture, etc. And another really rewarding time was my association with women's cross country. Celinda Bray is a phenomenal coach, and Tara Schmidt is an athletic trainer, is top notch. Of course, having been in the field I coached over 20 years collegiately. I think I'm somewhat a judge of those. We worked as a wonderful team, and Celinda recruited young women who were good academically as well as pretty decent athletes. And working with that team, that first full year with them in the weight room as their strength and conditioning coach, and having them go on and win nationals was extremely rewarding. And when they came back and said thanks, they were recognizing the efforts of all of us working together as a team to help them achieve that.
That's good. And then we don't have the cross-country team any longer.
And that was an administrative decision, correct, yeah.
Did they say why?
They wanted to start softball, which was more of a participant sport. I wasn't consulted, so let's just say I think when you have an environment that is at elevation, has mountain trails galore, a dining hall and dorms, it's nirvana for runners. And the fact that they were consistently in the top 10 in the United States, I hated to see the program go.
Yeah, that's tough. But how's the softball doing now?
Softball is in a little bit of a downturn right now, but they definitely have the potential to be contenders, and not just statewide, but national. You got to say, on the flip side, though, I am a devotee of cross country, that this is big softball territory. Yeah. When you've got ASU and U of A continually challenging for the national spotlight, and excellent junior college programs too, and they do provide a lot of opportunities for young women to get scholarships and go on. On the other hand, one of the pluses of women's cross country was that it provided opportunities for minorities, particularly Native American women. That does not exist anymore.
Yeah, that is one of the. I come from reservation, so I've seen like cross country and basketball, and you pull them out of their team, they're not as good with another team. So you got cross country, single.
Where you can achieve individually and yet have a supportive group. So it just kind of pulls you together, people of common interest, and purpose, and cohesive. I mean, the cross-country team was one of the tighter groups I remember of all the women's teams.
That's great. So I noticed we have a lot of equipment. I've noticed TVs.
That was Bob's Baccarat idea, and initially I was kind of thinking, no other junior college has TVs, but I've got to say they're in a good addition, particularly since we've added some more recumbent bikes. Anything that'll keep a person doing cardio longer and improve them from the inside out, or the heart and lungs. I'm a backer. So that was a good addition.
Yeah, and then the pool, I noticed that that seems like it gets a lot of use. And how long has that been here?
The pool has been here pretty much since the original building was built, and I couldn't give you the date on that. I'd say late 60s, early 70s. However, in the renovation, it was completely dug out into dirt. And a team from California that just does pools put that in along with the warm water area. And swimming is a great activity, not only for people who do it for competitive reasons, like we've got the Prescott swim team, and also age group swimmers, some excellent age group swimmers, and some nationally competitive triathletes that use that pool. But when you have other issues like handicaps, orthopedic primarily, but also some structural problems that might be as a result of accident or birth, injury. The water is very forgiving. It helps you with balance, helps hold you up. It provides buoyancy. So even though maybe you've got a few extra pounds and you've got somebody else's knees in you, what I mean is like, metal. It's a very forgiving environment that you can exercise in when you could not do it on land. So it really serves that facility, probably more than any other we have, serves, to me, the physical spectrum, from the superior athlete to people who come in with walkers and oxygen tanks.
That's great. We have that. So I think my last question would be, what classes were you offering when you started, and what have we come to?
Interesting question. We were actually offering more different classes in weight training, but it was really only because of school mandated, actually probably even state, that you could not take the same class again. So consequently, for people who want to be repeaters with us, we get so many people that want to stay with us, whether they came to us as traditional college students or people who started with us as adult learners, seniors. They like our environment. Our price is hard to beat. I've got certified trainers on the floor at all times to help them, whereas if they were in any other facility, it would cost them at least $35 an hour to have access to that training.
And then some of those trainers are also questionable at the other places.
Oh, a lot of my trainers work at the Y, Prescott Racket Club. Yeah, they have to because it's a part-time gig. You cannot make a living as a part-time instructor at Yavapai College. you got to have other stuff going, and most of them do a number of different things. One of my trainers, Chris Hessen, is a fitness center coordinator at the Y. Paula Tomitz teaches a wide spectrum of classes. She can do kickboxing to water aerobics, Pilates, yoga. A lot of them are multi-talented. And then I've got a couple bodybuilders, a husband-wife team that we're competitive bodybuilders, Pete and Cathy Karpinski. And I've kind of mentored Cathy a little bit when she came to me with an idea to teach an academic and physical-based class in weight management. And that's blossomed. And since she has been, as all my trainers are continuing learners, she's also done more education through McDougall, which is a vegan program, and actually her and Pete have reclaimed their health. They were vegetarians for over a decade, and they were doing a lot of meat and cheese substitutes, which bear a lot of chemicals, and Cathy was really concerned because Pete's health wasn't real great, and he was gaining weight. And she started the McDougall plan, which is vegan, which means no eggs, no milk, no meats. It's pretty strict. And they started reclaiming their health, and she became a devotee of that and developed a course based largely on Dr. McDougall's plan. So that led her to develop another academic-based class, which I believe this semester, for the first time, she put it online.
Wow.
So we like to provide an opportunity for our part-timers to grow and, expand their horizons, become better at what they can do for us, and therefore better at what they can do in the other places they're employed.
That's good. Well, I think that's it. I mean, thank you for coming, and
thank you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.